And Godzilla vs. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue number 3 is written by Cullen Bunn, with art by Freddie Williams II, colors by Andrew Dahlhaus, and letters by Joanna Natalie. And this issue begins with the Power Rangers inside their Megazord in a heated battle against Gigan, iGuy, and Rhino Blaster. Unfortunately, it's not going their way, as the combined efforts of the three monsters proves to be overwhelming, especially since the Rangers' first fight with Godzilla. It's at this time that Rita is attempting to place Tommy under her evil spell once more, but his will is too strong and resists. She then summarizes her plan to return to their world with the Zillion's Kaiju Legion to create an unstoppable army, before she has her minions throw Tommy into a cell. Meanwhile, the Rangers are near defeat. That is until Godzilla comes stomping back into the battle, and despite his assault against the three monsters, Godzilla also still considers the Rangers as enemies and attacks them, not knowing what else to do. The Rangers try to prove to Godzilla that they're on the same team by using their power sword to give him a boost and heal him quicker. The Rangers and Godzilla then work together to put down both iGuy and Rhino Blaster, and it's when we return to Rita and the Zillions that she's told Gigan is on the run. Rita, not wanting to allow the Rangers and Godzilla to catch their breath, orders the Zillions to send down more monsters, along with Scorpina, which she turns into her monstrous form, of which she hits hard and fast against the Rangers and Godzilla, as well being allied with Kamakiris, Kumonga, and Megaguirus. And I've got tons of excitement with monster brawls, kaiju spectacles, and I want more! Because the pacing in these books are extremely quick, and I get to the end very fast, and I don't want them to end, but they sadly do, and I know I gotta wait another month to get the next issue. And I would like to slow down and take my time, but it just flows so well. I mean, just seeing Godzilla and the Rangers team up is awesome, because I mean, we all knew it was gonna happen this way anyway. It's a versus book, which means the two hero-like characters are gonna be at odds for a little bit, and then the rest of the story, they're allies. But I did appreciate how the book does illustrate that Godzilla isn't really necessarily good or evil, though, that he is indeed a force of nature, and if he sees you as a bad guy or some kind of opposition to him, he's gonna try to put you down regardless. So it was very interesting to see the Rangers have to work together and think of a way to get Godzilla to maybe not perceive them as much of a threat to him. And hey, give him a power boost with the power sword was powerific. That's right, I've got
Power Punch.
And I also really liked seeing just how much devastation both Rita's monsters and Godzilla's kaiju enemies can do when you put them together, because what I find really interesting is, you know, whereas Rita's monsters may not be quite as strong as Godzilla's enemies, they're still, you know, more intelligent. They can actually think situations through. So it's kind of like if they can get themselves to, you know, formulate some kind of a plan where they could even aim, say, in this case, Gigan, their powerhouse in their little trio there, towards the Rangers, they can, you know, accomplish a victory, which they almost do until Godzilla shows up. And I will say, I did like that joke where, you know, both Rhino Blaster and iGuy had, you know, these quippy little one-liners, and then, you know, when it was Gigan's turn, it was just a screech, and, you know, then they're just kind of like, oh, okay, I guess, you know, he's not much of a talker, you know. That was funny. It was a well-timed joke, and it landed. And also one thing that this book does is it uses Rita to answer, you know, a few questions, primarily, you know, what Rita's plan is and whatnot. Like, for her specifically, her concept is to, like, all right, I'm going to, you know, collect this team of vicious zillion monsters and stuff like that, all of these kaiju. I'm sure somewhere out there in the multiverse is a spell that I can use to control all of them, and I'm take them back to our dimension and just unleash them. It's a good plan. It's a crazy plan. It just might work. No, it won't work. You know, it's gonna be a happy ending. It has to be a happy ending, because for the love of God, if I have to sit through a fake out ending like I did with Power Rangers vs. Justice League, to which I will never get any resolution, to that one plot point, it's going to drive me crazy. Also, that jewel that Rita used to transport themselves to the Godzilla world, she called it the Multiversal Focus. So, that's got a name now. And it now makes sense. She has a stone thing that can transport her throughout the multiverse. And of course, if we're doing that, I would be kind of disappointed if we didn't maybe get some of the other Godzilla variants like throughout history, you know, between Showa era, Heisei, and Millennium, and Reiwa, maybe even the RPM Rangers, because they are from a different world, and it's, okay, that's just wishful thinking. But it's a cool idea nonetheless. And of course, with her plan, you know, it would definitely be very useful to put Tommy under her spell once more and have her Green Ranger back, because, you know, if she had all of Godzilla's monsters and whatnot, and she had her Green Ranger too, she would probably be unstoppable at that point. Heck, I'm now even imagining a scenario where she just yeets Space Godzilla at Dark Spectre. But I am also wondering about that spell, because the first time she used that spell on Tommy, it worked instantaneously, but now he's got enough mental fortitude to kind of resist her mind control. I mean, this isn't like a pill or like a truth serum or something like that where he can kind of resist it. I mean, this is magic, unless the morphine grid is giving him some kind of level of protection. But other Rangers have been mind controlled before, so I'm not exactly sure why he's able to resist as much as he is. I mean, as presented, it doesn't look like Rita's powers have gotten any weaker just from hopping over to another dimension. And speaking of Rita, I like how she's characterized here, because throughout, you know, the Power Rangers show and even to a degree in the comic books, one of her greatest faults is her arrogance. She does have this thought process that she's like the penultimate, you know, sorceress of the universe, and that, you know, she's the almighty that's just going to beat everything and just rule all. And so when the situation starts to go a little bit out of her control, she becomes impatient. She starts to, you know, force more monsters out towards the Rangers, which I'm sure is going to lead to her inevitable downfall. Because let's be honest, what's the situation going to be when she's like looking at the zillions, who do you got left? Who do we got left? And they say, yeah, so we got this guy called King Ghidorah, and she's like, you know what? Cool, I'm going to try to control him. We know that's not going to go well at all. That would actually be kind of funny. You know, she's like, just dips over to another multiverse, gets a spell that supposedly works on Kaiju, comes back, tries to do it to King Ghidorah, and King Ghidorah just looks at her like, no. And I just have this weird feeling that when King Ghidorah shows up, she's probably gonna just hop on back to her dimension regardless. And I also dig how the Zillions are telling her that, hey, just so you know, we're working together on this. We are not yours to actually command. And it does lead me to believe that the Zillions are probably planning to betray her just as much as she's planning to betray them. Which the question remains, who's gonna stab each other in the back first? As far as the arc goes, once again, I really enjoyed it. I think that specifically the colors are always standouts in these issues, especially the scenes where Rita's trying to put Tommy under the spell, and I really love how vibrant all the green is and how it just overtakes the panel and stuff. And even with Godzilla, as the Rangers are powering him up with the power sword and just, you know, all of that blue lightning and whatnot, it just looks really good on the page. And naturally, I really dig the page that's just featuring all of these various monsters on it, which includes Rodan, Space Godzilla, Hedorah, Ebera, Anguirus, I think that's Biollante, King Sphinx, Bones, Mighty Minotaur, Weave Worm, and Terror Toad. That's a lot, and I'm glad they were included, even if they don't actually factor into the main story. But, you know, just for being a fan of both of these properties, it was just really awesome to see, you know, so many creatures get featured on one page. This book is still really fun. I dig it. I'm enjoying the monster battles. And again, if you like Godzilla or Power Rangers, this is definitely a book you need to check out. And with that, I'm going to give Godzilla vs. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue number 3 an 8.5 out of 10. So Godzilla vs. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue number 3. What did you think about this book if you've read it? I'd love to hear your thoughts. please leave your comments in the comment section below. And if you like this video, I'd love it if you'd smash that like button, share it with some friends, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and ring that notification bell for more comic book content. And if you're wondering what to watch next, consider one of these 2 videos. Alright, take care, have a great day, and as always, stay geeky.